Hey guys, we hope you're doing well today. This is Heath and Tracy. Welcome to the very first episode of Joyfully Married After, Episode 1. This is Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We're joyfully married after how many years, baby?
26.
26 years, 4 kids, corporate jobs, entrepreneurs, and this podcast is our view on life through our lens.
Let's go.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Heath.
We're doing a podcast.
Oh, my God.
Why are we doing a podcast, Queen Tracy?
Shoot, why not?
I mean, we have a lot to talk about.
We have lots to talk about, guys. Welcome to Joyfully Married After. This is our first podcast.
Very first podcast.
Woo.
You.
As you may know, some of you may know us from Heath and Tracy TV on YouTube.
Yep.
Some of you may know us just from knowing us. Hi, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
And some of you may just be hearing us for the first time. We want to say welcome, and we're going to love you, and you're going to love us.
That's what's going on.
So, Joyfully Married After is the name of our podcast.
I'm a happy guy.
Yes, you are, dear.
And my thought process was that if I'm going to be married and I'm going to continue to be happy, I need to figure out how to do both.
Joyfully.
I want to be joyful every day, and I want to be married every day, and I want to be joyfully married.
Joyful is permanent.
Yes.
Happily is temporary. I know you hear everybody say, happily married after, happily, and they lived happily ever after. That means they did it for a little while. So we wanted it to be permanent. So we called it Joyfully Married After. And you want to tell the people a little bit about, our mission and what we want to do?
Yeah, we want to be an example for what that looks like, right? So out here in life, marriage is certainly under attack. The divorce rate is over 50%. And people, I think, have become a little disillusioned and don't think that people can be joyfully married anymore. So Tracy and I have executed against time in our marriage, and that we are still very joyful, and that we have been married for over 27 years now, which is amazing because I have an amazing wife.
Thank you, love. I have an amazing husband. And no, we weren't always like this.
Very true. But the idea is that we want to be inspiration and example for people. And, our thesis is sort of that, if you're after the married life and you want to be married, we think that your life is better. I think there are lots of statistics around how your life is like 3 times better if you're married.
What if I just want to be with another person? Do I have to get married?
Well, we are choosing beings.
Yes.
But personally, I think that there are lots of pros to being married.
Right. But what if I don't have the piece of paper?
You should get it.
That's a whole nother conversation, especially when you start popping out mini-me's.
Another podcast.
So a little bit about Heath and Tracy. Like you said, we've been married 27 years. We live in
Cary, North Carolina.
Cary, North Carolina. We work at Fortune 50 and 500 companies.
Yes, we both
in
have.
the tech.
We both are tech salespeople in Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, guys. So we have real 9-to-5s that we enjoy, but we just really wanted to do this on the side. We just thought it was so cool. We wanted to share. People always ask us, we have how many kids?
We have 4 children.
What?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uno, dos, tres, and cuatro.
And that's how they refer to themselves sometimes. It's hilarious. So we've got Jasmine, Addison, William, and Brendan. In that order. Jasmine is our young adult child.
Yes.
She resides in D.C.
She does.
Addison is our next young adult child. She resides here with us currently, but she's moving to D.C.
Yes.
And William and Brendan are still home with mommy and daddy. They're both in high school.
Yes, they're in high school.
So we've got 3 teenagers basically and 1 young adult, just to give you an idea of what we've been through in our marriage life.
Yes, Fortune 500 jobs, side hustling, rearing children.
All the fun stuff, guys.
That's what we do.
So back to why we're doing a podcast. I
Yes.
think we prefer to do a podcast instead of a blog, simply because we don't have time.
We have a blog too, though,
Yeah, we do, but
but
I
it's
don't
not getting
write,
it's not getting as much attention as
because
ours.
he's not writing it.
It's not getting quite as much attention
Because
as our
he's not
podcast.
writing it.
I might write some more though.
You might.
I may write some more.
We also have a YouTube channel. What's the name of that?
Heath and Tracy TV.
Woo! And we have several playlists on there. One is pros and cons of moving to North Carolina.
Yep.
One is our family life, if you want to check in on that and what
Little-
we do when we all 6 of us get together.
A little vlogging.
Little vlogging, not much, because we're so busy.
It's cool.
And then we have Joyfully Married After.
Joyfully Married After. Yeah, we have one more playlist too.
Yep, we do.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
1 minute motivation.
Heat's 1 minute motivation. You can catch that too.
Yeah, you catch me out there on Instagram.
Are
Heath
we
C.
doing
Turner.
too much? Is this doing too much?
Doing too much? Well, it depends on your perspective, right? Some people don't understand what's happening in the world, and lots of opportunities to engage in online business and really create a personal brand or other brand outside of themselves. And so, you have to you have to have people in the financial world understand risk mitigation. And so sometimes having a job can get to be a little dicey. So you can mitigate some of your risk by generating income outside of that.
I think it's fun. That's why I do it.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. So, to tell you a little bit more about ourselves, we both graduated from Howard University. You know? And we have lived in Georgia for most of our married life.
Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta, to be exact. And we've moved to Cary most recently in the past 6-7 years.
7 years.
7 years to
plus.
be exact.
7
Almost
years
going
plus.
on 8.
7 years plus in North
Yikes.
Carolina.
Yikes.
Yep.
You can go watch our video to find out how we feel about that.
Yeah. We lived in D.C. for
Yep.
8 or 10
The
years.
first part, the early part of our marriage. And now we're here in the Carolinas. Just a little bit more about us. We are opposites,
Yes.
but we're the same.
The two have become one.
Yeah, after 27 years, you two would become like your spouse.
We talk to the kids sometimes, and you'll say, "Go and ask your dad," and then they'll come and they'll say, "Dad, so and so and so and so," and then I'll give them my opinion, and then they'll say, "You said the same thing Mommy said."
Oh my gosh. I wonder how that happened. Some of our favorite TV shows are,
TV shows.
we don't watch much television, but when we do,
Yeah, when we do, we watch a lot of
GOT?
we watch a lot of YouTube, and we watch GOT.
yeah,
Game-
we're not.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, okay, so that's another thing about us. We don't watch television. We watch on-demand television. So we're Hulu subscribers, and we watch a lot of Apple TV. So we kind of pick and choose what we watch when we want to watch it. But we do binge watch sometimes,
We do.
and just kind of getting ready for like Game of Thrones.
GOT.
And I watched The Bachelorette this year. It's been very, very interesting, to say the least. Heath does not watch it.
I do watch Bachelorette a little bit. I watch it with you sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes.
No, I don't think so.
Not frequently. But
No, not
sometimes. Sometimes I watch
at all.
it.
Not at all.
I like the $1 million listing. We used to be in real estate, and so that's always interesting to me to see people pulling together those large deals. And it's really funny because a lot of the stuff that they're doing is the same thing you do with a small deal.
Yeah, that is a fun show, but I can't. It's the intensity is too much for me, so I don't watch it. It takes me back too much.
Yeah, our real estate days.
So let's get into us a little bit more.
Okay.
We want to talk about why we like each other.
Yes, I really like you, Tracy. I like you so much that I am willing to give you my name and have you live with me for the rest of my life.
Go ahead, Heath. You want to talk about yourself, or do you want to talk about us?
Let's talk about us, baby.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about? Let's tell the people why we make each other better. How about that?
I like it. You make me so much better, baby, in all ways. Let me highlight a couple.
Yeah, let's
One,
highlight some.
because I'm more of a visionary. I'm the dreamer type, right? And so sometimes I have fantastic ideas and they're very high level. And by you being the opposite of me, your personality is much more of the pusher, let's say.
I'm the doer.
I do stuff too.
After I push him to do.
Right. See, there you go. And you are do, go. And sometimes I have to stop you and pull you up to a higher level so that you can see the big picture.
Always.
And so it works. It works. But yeah, so you really make me better because you have enabled me to do more, to accomplish more, to be more. And I owe a lot of that to you, baby.
I love you, baby. Thank you so much for that.
I love you back.
So one way you make me better is you calm me down. You make me think about something before I open my mouth.
Okay.
Because this man never has anything negative to say about anyone ever.
No, yeah, that's true for the most part. Yes.
I'm the complete opposite. Complete opposite. Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit more direct.
Yeah. You can be a little curt every now and then.
I have the laser sharp tongue at times.
Two-edged sword is on deck.
It's pretty bad. But this guy keeps me really level. He keeps me from losing it. And just really makes me better as far as before I open my mouth, before I type that email, before I say something.
Mm-hmm. Don't hit send, Tracy.
Don't hit send.
Don't hit send on that, baby. Just pump your brakes.
Pump the brakes. And, sometimes I get him, to say, hey, check this for me before I do this. And he's really good about that. So that's how he definitely makes me better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great. I think that's such a great example, baby, of how marriage can amplify your life. Right, when we were talking about being better 3x, from the perspective of when you play to your strengths and your spouse is playing to their strengths, then it's all strength. Right, and so you're going to certainly a different place than you would have been otherwise, and so yeah, that's certainly one of the things that I love about being married, and one of the pluses that I see.
Yeah, it definitely speaks to whatever you lack, that person probably can do it better than you can. So you shouldn't rely on yourself as much to do everything in the marriage. You should really sometimes look at that other person and say, does he do this better? Does he handle the numbers better than I do? Does he handle the kids better than I do? Does he handle, business in the home better than I do? What is it that you lack? Your partner probably takes up that gap for you. That's how most people I know are anyway. My friends, a lot of our friends have been married about the same time that we have. And True. They're not complete opposites like we are, but they very much complement one another.
Right. Yeah. So I think that, what else? We were talking about how we make each other better. Right. So that was a great point. You touched on the kids, right? A lot of people have children at different phases of life. Some of them are younger, some of them are mid-range, some of them are older. And so I think that when you have someone to balance you, when you're looking at punishment or discipline or encouragement or just dealing with life, right? It's really good to have that other person to bounce things off of and to bring the best overall solution to that situation, whatever it is. So I think that's certainly a way that you make me better, where sometimes I may be a little lenient in some areas and you may be like, no, we need to do X, Y, and Z, so and so.
Yeah, I'm the stickler I'm the disciplinarian when it comes to the kids. He's not so much, but I don't think you need two disciplinarians in your family when it comes to your children.
Yep.
I don't think both of you need to be spenders.
Bring me my belt.
Oh my God. That doesn't happen in our family. I don't have the energy or the patience, and
oh my gosh,
I don't know what would happen if I found a belt. But I'm very cognizant of the fact that I can be harsh. So I always get heat to balance it out. If I do speak to the children, I usually make sure he's in our presence, so that if I do say something off the cuff or something not really acceptable, he corrects it.
Jump in.
Yeah, he'll definitely jump in. So, and it's gotten so much better over our marriage. Our marriage hasn't always been perfect. That's
No.
another thing people have a tendency to think when they say, "Oh my God, you've been married 27 years." And I think the next question that people want to ask you is, "Okay, give me the battles. I want to know how you got here." And that's kind of what this podcast is going to be about. We're gonna talk to you about how we got to 27 years. We're not gonna just give you the fluff. We're not going to just give you the good times. We're going to give you that too, because there's a lot of it.
Sure.
But at the same time, we're going to help you or help guide you through how to get through your tough times, because that's really all it is. It's a commitment to the process. It's a commitment to understanding another person for the rest of your life. It's a commitment to actually accepting another person for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Heath is not the person I married.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Very
I'm
true.
not the person he married.
Very true.
And so that's something that you have to understand when you marry someone and you commit to marrying someone. That very first, all that gooey face, lovey-dovey, that lasts about what, 2 years? 2 years max.
That gooey face. That's
and
funny.
then, a lot of people mull through the rest of it for the next 3 years and then get divorced at about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, that brings me to a great point, baby. Is that when you're married, just a couple of nuggets for people. When you're married, when you make your marriage all about the other person, it makes it so much better because they totally get it. They are into the fact that you are showering them with understanding, with attention, with engagement, especially when you're a man, right? And you're giving your woman that love and that affection and that attention. You're making everything all about her. You're anticipating needs. You're doing things before she even needs them. You're attentive and you're kind. And when you do that, the reciprocation that you receive is just next level.
And I think that speaks to when you hear people, especially believers, talk about submission. That is submission. Submission is I'm making it all about Heath.
Oh, boy.
Because Heath makes it all about Tracy. So if you're just struggling with this in your marriage, just think about the other person and think about always doing for the other person. Don't just take yourself out of the equation. And when you take yourself out of the equation, they take themselves out of the equation because they're getting so much from you. They're starting to concentrate on what you want. And that is true love. That is being in oneness and for one another. That's what we believe anyway. And that's how it's worked for us. So those are just some checkpoints for you in your marriage. If you're having a hard time, is to take it off of you, take it off of them as far as negativity. And if there's something wrong in the marriage, turn around and look at the mirror. More than likely, it's something you're doing, something you're saying, something you're not doing, something you're not saying. And just move forward in that. Always, always put the other person first and foremost. And not in a bad way. I don't mean neglect yourself by any means. That's not what I'm saying. But when you come around to doing and saying, always edify, always uplift, always give them something.
That's a great point, baby. And then that takes me to the second nugget that I wanted to speak to was the self. Self is what you just touched on, right? And so, if you look at divorce and you do some deep analysis, when you go to the root cause, typically what you will find is that there was some selfishness on the part of someone, right? I'm too selfish to honor my marriage, so I'm going to go and sleep with everybody in town.
Yeah.
I'm too selfish to not want to go and kick it with the boys, so whatever you think, you can think whatever. I'm going to the strip club. I'm going to the bar with the boys. I'm going to do my thing. I'm a grown man, and hey, as long as I take care of my house, don't even worry about it. And so, that's just a couple examples of where selfishness can really erode the marriage and take you down that road to divorce. And so, just be mindful of that, right? So, anytime you're in relationships, you want to reduce self.
So I think people may want to know how we met.
It was a beautiful day in Washington, D.C. in 1988. I
love this story.
I walked into the Blackburn Center, the campus of Howard University. My friend Lisa Walker. Shout out to Lisa Walker.
Lisa Walker
is a phenomenal attorney in Atlanta now.
And she has a different last name.
And she does have a different last name, yes. My apologies to Lisa's husband. but shout out to Lisa. So I walked into the Blackburn Center. My friend Lisa was running the yearbook at Howard University that year, and she said, "Hey, I want you to come over and do some sports stories, and swing by the office, and I'll give you all the details." I said, "Cool." And then she said, "There's even like a little small stipend involved." I said, "Oh, even better. Okay, I'm definitely there." And so I walked into the office.
Wait. Let me tell how I was in the office.
How did you happen to be in the office that day, baby?
So Lisa and I had known each other for a few years. We were the same major at Howard University, and we had a lot of classes together. And when I found out she was yearbook editor in our senior year, I said, I need to go talk to Lisa, because I already knew they paid a stipend.
I did not.
And I said, so what's up with the yearbook staff? What do y'all need over here that I can contribute? So that's why I was in Lisa's office. Go ahead, baby.
So I walked in, and my friend Lisa from high school, who was now at college with me running the yearbook, was standing there talking to this vision of loveliness with this smile that was filling up the room. And I walked up to you, and I grabbed your hand.
He
and
interrupted us, actually.
I did. I straight interrupted, went straight to you, grabbed your hand, and looked at Lisa. No, I looked at you while I talked to Lisa.
You have a memory of an elephant.
And I said, Lisa, who is this vision of loveliness that you are here speaking with that I have never met before in my life?
And I'm grinning ear to ear right now.
Why?
Because he said that's exactly what he said.
Why do I not know? Why have you never introduced me to this person?
And I just thought it was so
and
funny.
who
because
are
I'm
you?
standing right there.
And who are you? And why do I not know you?
I just laughed. I just laughed. It was very bold. If anyone knows about men these days, even then, they didn't tell you they thought you were whatever, right to your face, very nice and very gentle. They didn't do that. They looked at you from afar and, pined over you in a class and eventually got around to it when they had enough drinks in them.
Man, you know so.
Yeah, he didn't do that. He
Nope.
was very direct.
Sure was.
So what happened? I introduced myself and I went on my merry way because my business was done.
Yep. So I followed you out of the Blackburn Center.
Are you serious?
I watched you walk up the stairs.
You followed me?
Well, you kind of more sashayed up the stairs. You kind of glided.
I still can't believe you followed me.
Because the office was in the basement of the Blackburn Center. So you went up the stairs.
You actually followed me?
And you went around. And then I watched you walk out the door. And as you were walking out the door, I bumped into a buddy of mine, Jeff Tony, who was also watching you walk away. And we bumped into each other. And he was like, man, baby got it going on, don't you? I was like, dude, I just met her downstairs, man. He was like, yo. And we were like, yo. And so that was it. And so then about 30 minutes later, I was walking across the yard and I was going past the library and you were going into the library, but I was above you from a higher vantage point. So you walked into the library and I looked down and I was like, hey.
I looked up and I was like, oh, hey.
Twice in one day and we've never met before. Something might be going on here.
And I just started laughing again.
And then she walked into the library.
Was that a swerve? Is that a swerve?
So then about an hour after that, I bumped into another buddy of mine, Joaquin Thompson. Shout out to Joaquin, Daily Bread Radio Show. And I was telling Joaquin, man, I met this girl today. Oh, my goodness. And I was telling Joaquin all about Tracy, and I was being very demonstrative. We were getting in my car. And I was cruising out of the parking area where I was, and I was like, and there she is again.
I was getting in my car, minding my own business, getting ready to go home.
So I rolled up very coolly. I hit the button. The window comes down. Boo.
And I look out my window like, who is blocking me from getting out of my car?
I said, hey.
Out of my parking space.
3 times in the same day, and we have never met in 4 years. You got to give me your number.
Yeah, that was a little crazy too. And I thought it was very weird that, yes, I had seen him 3 times in one day, and I'd never, ever seen him before. I thought it was very strange. We both thought it was funny.
It was. She gave you the number.
That's how we met.
And now 27 years later, we have 4 children and a podcast.
Who knew? Who knew?
That's how it happened.
So just wanted to say thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
If you enjoyed it, keep in touch. We're going to keep doing this. What do you think, baby? Every week?
Every week.
Every week.
A new podcast.
Remember, stay connected.
Stay connected to God. Stay connected to your family. And stay connected to your spouse.
Or your significant other.
Thanks again for listening today, folks. If you liked any of what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Tell a friend, too. And you can engage us at heathentracy.com for all the goings on in our world. Queen Tracy, speak to the people.
Bye, loves.